Distinguished guests, now I would like to invite the chief guest of our today's summit, Honorable Ministry of Land, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, Mr. Saifuzzaman Chowdhury, MP, to come up on stage and share his views with us through his speech.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Mr. Chairman, Excellency, distinguished guests, members of the delegation, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to all of you. Actually, a lot of discussion and deliberation have been taken by my previous speakers. I don't think so they have left anything for me, but I will certainly try to at least sum up the, what do you call this session. I would like to express my profound thanks to the organizer for having me invited in this very special event organized by Bangladesh Securities and Exchange Commission, and especially having this event in Switzerland, one of the most magnificent, one of the most beautiful country in the world, and one of my favorite city, Zurich. You know, there was a time from Bangladesh, those who used to organize this sort of roadshow, it was really difficult for them to sell Bangladesh, to promote Bangladesh. I'm saying once upon a time, so obviously not this current situation. Because, you know, they had to make a lot of things. They have to promote Bangladesh so that it looks good. And they can sell properly. Due to its, obviously, the reason was due to lack of infrastructure, due to lack of policy reform and guidelines. But today, this is no longer the case. I can assure you, the investors who are attending this event. Obviously, I will not say for the sake of saying, I will try to come up with facts and figures. I think a lot of figures have already been demonstrated, and by now you understood what is today's Bangladesh. I'd like to quote recent, by IMF, recent report. In October 2020, Bangladesh was the top 5 resilient economy in the world. I repeat, top 5 resilient economy in the world. But if you ask me, obviously I'm thrilled. Obviously I'm excited to, heard that report. But you know what? That's not the first time. Let me tell you what I have heard long before this pandemic. There was a great recession in the year 2007, 8, and 9. I'm sure those who are attending here, they do remember about this, great recession, which was about to turn to a Great Depression. But unfortunately, I would not say unfortunately, fortunately, we've been blessed. We have narrowly averted that Great Depression. Anyways, what I was trying to say, during that period, I was the president of the Chittagong Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Actually, in my personal life, I'm a businessman, though recently Honorable Prime Minister has been kind enough to promote me as a Minister of Bangladesh, but this is not my bread and butter. So in my private life, I'm a pure businessman. So basically, I grew up with this robust economic growth. I have experienced I've gone through with this pace. Anyways, what I was trying to say is that, and one day, the World Bank representative to Bangladesh had called on me. You know Chittagong, I think those who doesn't know Chittagong is one of the most important city in Bangladesh. It's the largest port city of Bangladesh. It's the gateway of the economy. So, and obviously Chittagong Chamber plays a very vital role in our economy. So one day she had called on me, and we had a lot of bilateral discussion. At one point, she has asked me that, Mr. President, can you tell me one thing? During this recession period, what is your forecast about the growth of Bangladesh? Next forecast about the, GDP growth of Bangladesh. Instead of instantly replying her question, I have asked her, I said, what is your forecast? Well, she said, well, I think it's gonna dip below 5. I said, what exactly? She said, probably 4, I don't think so that's gonna exceed 4%. I said, listen, I completely disagree with you. She said, how come? So let me tell you why. If you look at the economy of Bangladesh, it's been growing, and it has been showing quite resiliency. So in this recession, read my lips, take my word, our economy, our GDP growth will never dip below 5%. If you ask me precisely, I'll tell you that it's gonna be like between 5 to 5.5%. Thank God I was right. And when the next forecast released, it was around like 5.5%. So it has been showing quite a resiliency. Under any changed circumstances, I don't know, somehow we can float. Our entrepreneurs, they're a fighter. The growth, what you see in today's Bangladesh is led by private sector. I'm very pleased to say that I belong to that group. So the growth, what we have been experiencing it's been a private sector led growth. I'm not undermining the government. It's due to government's proper policy, due to government's proper reform, due to government's proper infrastructure. We know this private sector have been able to grow. And amongst the population, our youth group is almost 27%, if I'm not wrong. So they are the driving force. That's why we have been blessed, I would say, with this robust growth. The country, prior to this pandemic, our economy was thriving. I'm not just saying just for the sake of saying. This is the true story. I don't know whether you would believe it or not. Prior to this pandemic, our economy was thriving. But obviously, due to this pandemic, we had to, take the hit. But it wasn't that bad as we expected. Because, our leader, the Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, who has a vision and mission, under her leadership, somehow, in this pandemic situation, we've been able to navigate this situation. And since we have good, smart people in the administration, quite knowledgeable people in the administration, we have a very dynamic cabinet. Because of this, I guess, we have been really doing good. Even in this pandemic, as I have just said a while ago, the report by the IMF saying that it's a top 5 resilient economy. So this is the story of Bangladesh. This country has become a happening country. This is no longer an old Bangladesh. Obviously, our father of the nation, we have been liberated, it's been over 50 years now. And that was the vision of our father of the nation. A country with fortune, a country with a lot of hopes and future. And today, under the leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, we have been able to bring Bangladesh to a certain level. We can feel proud that yes, has been a very happening country. So I would like to request our Swiss investors, as well as our expatriates, come and visit Bangladesh. Come and invest Bangladesh. We are going to set up over 100 special economic zone for local as well as for FDI. Because we think foreign direct investment is the most important thing. The more we get of FDI, the better our economy will be. Because, see, whatever we do, it has to be sustainable. We cannot afford to go back in our old days. Obviously, I don't think so. We will ever go back to our old situation because it's already shown enough resiliency. And I'm sure we can compete. As you know, Bangladesh has been graduated from LDC to developed country. And our focus by 2041 to graduate from developing country to a developed nation. This is what our vision, this is what our leaders' vision is. I'm sure with concerted effort, we'll be able to achieve that. I don't think it's a rocket science. We have already achieved to a certain level. So this is the high time to invest Bangladesh. And I again like to thank Security and Exchange Commission, especially the chairman, one of the most dynamic chairmen, to invest in our capital market. I know many of you might think that usually, that's a very normal case. Usually, for any country, capital market is the lifeline of the economy. Unfortunately, that has not been the case for Bangladesh so far, quote unquote, so far. But I'm sure the way things are moving, I don't think so, it's not that far, that capital market will be one of the driving force of the economy. We have to have that. And I would like, there are some foreign investors. Gradually, if you invest in Bangladesh, obviously you can also invest in the capital market, or you can list your company, obviously to maintain certain criteria. So if you go through with that process, I'm sure that should not be an issue. So it's a quite secured country. Think about it. Bangladesh has been an agrarian-based country. Our economy is mostly dependent on the agriculture. But gradually we are shifting from agriculture to industrialization. Still, contribution to our GDP from the industry side, still it's not that significant. But in days ahead, it will be. But that doesn't mean that we'll less focus on our agriculture. Because as you know, Bangladesh is one of the most populous countries in the world. We have to feed our people. And if we focus less on our agriculture, then we'll be able to feed our people. So we are targeting next 50 years, next 100 years, how to have a food safety net. This is a very important thing, food safety net. So we are trying to develop R&D through our institute to have a better seed. As you know, every year there is a land depletion, 1%, because of urbanization and other things. But despite that, our productivity has gone up, has increased to many-fold. That was quite surprising. Why? How that has been possible? Because of this, R&D. We try to import a lot of good seeds from, Thailand, Vietnam, and other places, so that our production can be increased to a substantial level. So we are not, less focusing on that. My Prime Minister, she has everything in her head. She knows that food safety net is very important. And on the contrary, that will save a lot of foreign currency. Though we are enjoying quite a good reserve, and hopefully, by end of the year or next year, it's going to cross like $50 billion. My finance secretary said, I'm sure he will agree with me about that. Anyways, I guess this is it. This is, what I wanted to say about Bangladesh. So come and invest in Bangladesh. You'll enjoy it. There are, things are changing. There is a winds of change in the air. You'll see it. You'll feel it once you are there. Once you invest there. I know initially there might be a lot of hiccups, but trust me, that's not going to last forever. Sometimes that's also important to learn, to experience about the system and the situation. But things are changing. As I've said, it's a private sector-led growth. So, you'll enjoy it. Along with this private sector, you'll be a part and parcel of our economic growth. Bangladesh is a country where you can rely. If you look at the political stability, it's been quite a while, it's been quite good for over a decade. And our economy has been doing very well in the last couple of decades, I would say. So whatever we have achieved, we didn't have to look back or go back. So, either it was holding up there or we have increased a level. So, this is the Bangladesh. Anyways, I'd just like to conclude my speech by quoting President Reagan's. He has given one speech in the Republican Convention quite a while ago. He was, during that time, probably he was the President of the United States. He said, "You cannot help poor by punishing rich." I repeat, he said, "You cannot help people, poor people, by punishing rich." He didn't mean, or it wasn't sound like that he was saying in favor of rich people. No. What I understood is that what he tried to mean, you have to have a balance in the society in order to move in the right direction. And if you look at our balance of economy between macro and the micro, I think we've been quite balanced out. And we are heading towards the right direction. I think this is it. It's been really honor for me again. Thank you very much. Long live Swiss-Bangladesh friendship. Good day.